Hey, you guys. Oh, welcome to this morning's quick craft with Royce. I'm going to breathe for just a second because I feel like I've been running a marathon for weeks now. Let me start to kick in. But today we are going to take a look at the new Roycycled Decoupage designs. This is the spring release. I realized something when I was messing with the papers last night, you guys. I'm going to apologize because based on the designs that I've made, I feel like I made these designs for myself. So I'm hoping that you guys love them too. Oh, hey, Michelle. How are you? Thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it. Oops, 30. I like that. Hey, Christy. Hey, Beth. How are you? I know 3 days. Are you still snowed in, Beth? Um, hey, Tara. How are you? I'm sorry, guys. I'm opening new brushes. I did wash my brushes, but I realized that I'm using small brushes more and more now. So, believe it or not, I still have brushes in the boxes left over from the retreat. I overshot way too much last year. Crazy town. So, you guys, we're gonna look at hey Carol, hey Jean, Mama Bear, hey, how are you? You guys, we have recycled retailers that are here with us. If you are recycled retailers, just throughout the course of the video, if you'll just drop the link to where customers can find papers, that would be awesome. Hey, Amy. Um, I do not have the new designs loaded for direct buy yet. It'll probably be sometime tomorrow or this evening by the time I do it. But there are plenty of recycled retailers who do have the papers. So touch base to your resource, your blah blah blah, your recycled retailer. If you guys don't have a retailer, you guys really want to have somebody. I always feel like it's like having a creative buddy because if you have questions, if you're struggling with the process, a lot of the retailers, they're selling paints and transfers and stencils and all the things. So like they know all the things. So you guys can hit them up. So find yourself a recycled retailer to get your papers from, and to help you with your creative growth. Hey Robin, hey Casey, hey Flea. Oh, girl. Yeah, Flea be helping me out. I almost messaged you right now, Flea, but I didn't do it. I think I'm gonna message you real quick though on your messenger. Um, Super quick. So today, you guys, we're gonna look at the new Roycycled designs. And then we're gonna make a quick craft. And y'all know what? I'm a mess because I have a chamber board meeting at 1 o'clock, which is an hour. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. Okay, the papers. So should we talk about the project first or should we talk about the papers first? Hey Robin, how are you? Hey Tammy. Thank you. Thank you guys. And thank you guys so much for the happy birthday wishes. I really do appreciate it. I gotta do at least one. I have to do at least one just because I'm so excited. I have these bottles in my stash and I bought like some I found this thing of corks. It's like all different kinds of sizes. So I got corks that fits my bottles and then I bothered the guys at Ace this morning to find a screw to fit these to fit my bottle. So I've already done like a lot of stuff to prep for this. So we have to do at least one. I don't know if we'll get both bottles done today, but I want to get at least one today. And if we do something once, a day from now until Sunday, plus the Sunday evening live, then I will have used all the papers. So let's start with, let me see. I'm going to put this one over here. I'm going to start with the ones that I think you guys are going to love the most. We'll start with those. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Shanna. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Okay, the paper first. I know. I'm going to do the paper. I'm going to get to it. I know. So the first design, you guys, is called Posh Pattern. And this one is super pretty. And it is a pattern. So it is a repeat of roses on a black background. And there are birds in here too. You guys can see the birds. And if you look really closely, you guys can see that it's like a burlap texture. So it's not just flat. There is like a burlappy texture. So, and you do have script in the background on this one. So there's script and there's birds and there's beautiful. I think these are peonies. I love peonies. I find myself drawn to them over and over again. And this is our first paper. This one is nice. I scaled this one because I feel like I've been kind of neglecting my furniture painters for a while. So I have two designs that I was thinking of specifically for you guys. This one, can you use it for crafts? Absolutely. The roses, my hands are huge, so I don't have a measuring tape here. I usually do have one. The roses are about 4 inches across approximately. So, you know, they're not super tiny. This rose is a little bit smaller. So can you use this for crafts? Absolutely. But we haven't had anything on a black or a dark background for a while. So I thought this would be a really fun design. I think Summer Bird was the last one we had where you had something pretty that was on a dark background. I just think makes these roses just pop off. And they're pink, but it's a really warm pink. It has a little bit of orange in it. Hey, Monique. Yeah, right. The colors, it makes it pop off the background. Hey, Joanne. Oh, thank you, Amy. And you know, I'm gonna call him. I watch TV with David, and you guys, if you guys know me and my husband, you know that he loves like Comic-Con and you know all that stuff. And whenever we go see a movie, there's always like Easter eggs in the movie. So I'm all calling it Easter eggs when I like hide little things in my papers because we show them to you guys online and you can get a good sense of what it is, but it's not until you get them in person that you see like the really small things that have been added to the paper to make them extra special. And then I have, and that one is actually, what do you call it? I am so sorry, you guys. I'm struggling a little bit today. It's made to go with this one. I can't think of the word I was trying to think of. And this one, I have not done like a large scale design in a really long time. And so I wanted to bring you guys this one. We have two birds on here and it's the same flower, but they are in like an arrangement. And you could easily like decoupage this on the front of a piece of furniture, but you could also use it on a piece of really large home decor. So these two designs, both this one, and I uploaded some thumbnails so I could show you guys too, because it's kind of hard. I even moved my camera up. And again, it has the same kind of a texture. Let me see. Oh yeah, you guys can see that kind of a burlappy texture that runs all the way through the design. And so I just wanted to give something to my furniture painters because I feel like I've been neglecting you guys for a while. And so this is the Posh floral. I should have written the names down. Coordinate, yeah, that's the complement to the smaller one. So like if you're doing a piece of furniture, this can be on the drawers on the front, and then the complement could be on the side of your piece, right? Or you could just use this in along on some drawer fronts if you want it as well. So you could coordinate and use these together and they do go together beautifully. Or if you're just using them separate, they also go together nice. And again, this one has, you guys know me, there's going to be some typography somewhere. So we do have some script in the background. larger versions of the birds. And then the flowers are just like in a an arrangement. And let me show you guys. I uploaded thumbnails. So I'm going to show you guys the actual paper, and then I'll show you guys that thumbnail so that you can get a really good sense of the paper, like the whole design. And so this one is the complement, right? And it is a repeat. So if you're working on a project that's larger than the paper, you can piece your papers together if you need to. And then this is, so that one is the Posh pattern. And then this one is the Posh floral. And so you can see it's like an arrangement of flowers, but you still have the birds and the script. And of course, the texture runs through both designs. Okay, so that is that one, those ones, and those go together. And then you guys have been asking me for paintable birds for like the last two launches, ever since I introduced the first paintables. You guys were like, you know, you wanted birds. And so I didn't want to just put birds on a paper. And so I did. And this one is the Paintable Botanical, I believe is the name of this one. And you guys can see that you have different size birds, different size flowers on this one. And everything on here is shaded and paintable. So let me show you guys a photo so you guys can get a sense of the whole design. This is the Paintable Botanical. And sometimes when you look at a thumbnail, it's hard to get a sense of the size though, right? And so that's why I like to show both the thumbnail and the paper. And so like this bird right here is pretty sizable. Oh, I thought that was my coffee, y'all. I was about to panic. No, this bird here is pretty sizable. I want to say he's like 8 or 10 inches across, right? So this is a good sized bird. But then you have some that are a smaller version. But these are a good size so that you can paint them. And I did choose a little differently. My other, let me show you, because we painted a bird yesterday. I thought I had the paper here. The shading on these is a little bit more, So it's not like a coloring book. The values are represented. So the different colors, white, you have a lighter gray, a darker gray, a black. And so for you, if you go over this with the transparent colors, it's going to be beautiful because all of the shading is already done for you. These are just a little more complete. I switched it up just a little bit for the birds because I felt like the added texture is going to benefit your end product. And so I'm hoping that you guys will really enjoy working with these. And then, of course, we have some butterflies on this one as well. So there's some paintable butterflies. I left this frame empty, you guys, because I could see you putting transfers in the middle of this. Like when we did our art blocks, this would have been a really pretty one, right? Or whatever, or you can situate something, you can decoupage over this, right? And then paint it. So there are flowers on here, there's script on here, there's multiple birds, multiple butterflies. Each bird is different. And they're all like set up in little kind of vignettes. So it is a masterboard, but you guys know how my masterboards work. But you can cut it in a lot of different places and be able to make a lot of projects, like literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You could easily make 12, a dozen projects from this one piece of paper. I can't wait to play with the birds either. I haven't really had time, but we're going to do it together though. Maybe tomorrow we have to finish our canvas bag. And I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm not sure, you guys. Hey, Kate, how are you? Thank you, Michelle. I want to look and make sure I don't have any. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Make sure I don't have any questions. Thank you, Flea. Okay. Right? All that topography. You guys know I love it. So speaking of topography, now we're going to go to the designs that I think I made the rest of these for me. We'll start with this one though. So when I look in our warehouse and I look at the designs that are still there, because, you know, we retire designs and we retire them based on sales. So like if you guys aren't buying the design, it gets retired, right? Because we can only have so many SKUs in the warehouse. And I have SKUs like the bird ephemera, the queen bee was my very first design that I've ever made. And she's still like in the top 10 for sellers. And so of course we still have her. And the thing I think that those designs all have in common is that they're kind of botanical designs. So I wanted to harken back to kind of the beginning of Roycycled. And in the beginning, all my designs were kind of botanical designs. And so I created this one. It's a botanical block and it's two halves. This side is neutral. And even though, and these flowers are still paintable, by the way, they still have the same shading, right? You can just use a transparent color and you go right over that, or you can just use it like this. I had fun making this one because even though it's a botanical, it's still kind of grungy. And, you know, you have two birds. You have this little guy here, and there's a bird in the tree up here. And there are a lot of Easter eggs in these specific ones. I don't think you guys can see it, but there's a bird cage in the back. It's really, it's in the background. So it's not forward a lot. But once you decoupage it, it'll pop. You'll be able to see that more. And then I have like a little bitty butterfly. There's these little bees buzzing around. And then all these little yummy grungy bits. And I want you guys to know that these are all on purpose. My warehouse crew, when they opened this one to count it, to make sure we had all the inventory based on the packing slip, they're like messaging me, like, there are marks on this paper. Yeah, but I did them on purpose. So yes, there are marks like you would take a brayer and like roll on here. And so it is beautiful, but it's also a little grungy. And of course, we have some topography here on the side. And I don't know if I can communicate. You guys can see there's script in the background, and there's also a texture on this one. It's more like a linen than a burlap, but there is like a fabric texture on the background of this one. So when you get this, there's a lot more going on up close than I think it looks like on the camera. And this one I made for you guys. This one has color. And so pink and green, I think because I was in the 80s, I was a teenager in the 80s. Pink and green is just such a beautiful combination. And this green is looking a lot more paler on camera than it is. That's funny. It is a pretty rich green. And you have birds and there's nests. And I want to say there's 4 birds on this one. 1, 2, and then you have 2 birds here on the bottom. There's all kinds of Easter eggs in here. There's bees, there's butterflies. And even though it's pretty and it's green, I'm going to show you guys. There is a texture on the back that's kind of like chippy paint. So there's like a chippy paint background on this. And so a lot of times when I show these, it's like, oh, that's pretty. And then when you get it, you see like all the details. So there's like chippy paint on the background. The script is more front, forward on this design. There is a bird cage in the background. It's subtly back there. And each one has like a little postage stamp too, which was fun. The postage stamp is appropriate for the design. So this is the botanical blocks. And this is kind of a harken back to the designs I made in the beginning of Roycycled. And let me show you guys the thumbnail so that you can see the whole design, so that you can kind of get a better sense of what it looks like. The rest of these are for me, but I'm going to show them to you guys. Oh, I know. I'm just a mess. I'm a mess, you guys. Okay. So the green, I just feel like pink and green go together so beautifully, and it's springtime. And I know that this isn't like the traditional like spring with the rabbits and chicks and stuff like that. But I will say to you guys, last year I did a lot of that. We used the bunny rabbit on the can on my one of the first days of this month when we did a live together. The spring blocks, the spring project blocks, there's a spring masterboard, and those are more traditionally spring. And I didn't get them out until like March of last year. So if you guys are looking for more traditional spring, we have it. And I don't think there's a lot of it out there just because it didn't come out until late in the year. And this one is one I feel like I need it like in our collection. And this is going to be another one of those pieces that I think are going to become like a standard. You're going to want to have this because you're going to use it over and over and over again. We have the topography sheet, but all of them are black and white, which we love because it gives us a lot of options. But I really felt like we needed something warm. Oh, and I do want to point out on this one, really quickly, one night on a live, I used one of the white sheets and I believe I did a glaze over it to make it warm. And on that live, you guys were like, we need that on a paper. And so that's where this came from too, because you guys asked for kind of the kind of paintable floral vibe, but to be on a warm background. And again, if you're a Roycycled retailer, please drop your links to where customers can find the decoupage paper so that they can come and get their stash. So this one is a warm topography is what I'm calling it. And it's just all the things that we love about topography. There's some script. There's like some older script. I have two ledgers in here. This one is just like a piece of a ledger, a handwritten music here. And then on this side is a full ledger sheet. And I didn't put too much on it. There is a little bit of a design on here, but I didn't put too much. I kind of wanted to leave it because I know, especially for my ladies who are doing a lot of junk journaling or mixed media artwork, I do believe this is going to become one of those pieces that you want to have in your stash because you're going to use it over and over again. And so this is another ledger. It's just a different one. And, you know, the date stamps on there. And I am just loving these. And the word just escaped my brain. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys can see that. Like there's a building right here. And these are sketches that artists would have done before, right? They started a project. And I didn't put a ton on here. So we have the ephemera, what is it? The ephemera collage where we have a lot of writing and stuff, and there's crowns and there's bees and there's keys and there's all the things, right? This one, I was a little more reserved with the extra elements because I wanted to allow space for you guys to be able to use it with your projects more freely. And so this one is the warm topography, and these are a little bit bigger than scale, but not much. And so I do think that this is going to become one of those pieces that we see over and over again. And if you're making architectural, thank you, girl. If you're making stuff for like your booth or you just like doing, I have a meeting after this. I'm not sure how much good I'm going to be. If you just like putting things together, when you use a paper like this and it becomes like a string through a bunch of projects, they're going to naturally go together, right? And so it's just a little easier. And even if you're decorating your home and you like setting up little vignettes, getting one big piece of paper like this, because tonally, right, all of these, even though the tones are a little bit different, they still go together. They still marry beautifully. Yeah, a staple. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I have no words today, apparently. Let me show you guys this one, the thumbnail, so that you guys can get a sense of what it looks like, the whole thing. And you guys can see, like, even though each one is different colors, the tonally, they go together really well. And I'm going to kind of leave this one here because I'm going to show you guys the next one. And so this came from two places. One of the things I absolutely love about antique books are the end papers. You guys know when you open the very first flap, and there's usually the beautiful papers that are on the front and the back of the books. And I absolutely love them. And when I created the photography masterboard, which is this paper, this is from last release, I kept finding myself wanting these end papers to use them by themselves. And of course, I love this paper and I love the end papers, but there's people on every end paper. So I couldn't use it by itself. So, and when I say, so I created this one for me. So this is called End Papers, and it is just a master board of different end papers that you would find in antique books. And so this one it can be a staple. It depends, you know, but for me, this will definitely be a staple because you can use it so many different ways. And whether you're doing a small project or something a little bit larger, when I was making this, I was kind of conscientious of the sizes. So there's some 8x10s, there's some 5x7s, there's some 4x6s, you know what I'm saying? Kind of standard sizes. These are awesome pieces for backgrounds for you guys to be able to use in your projects. If you're someone who is doing, yes, Kathy, it did. Because I kept wanting to pull the background out of that paper and none of the pieces were big enough. So now we have some. If you're someone who's doing like art journaling or doing mixed media, these are fabulous, right? Because you have these pieces. And I left this out because I want you guys to see that tonally, it goes really well with the warm topography, right? Beautifully. And then last but not least, there aren't a ton of designs. Oh yeah, that's right. On drawer fronts. That would be super cute. This would be so nice if you had like a cubby and you had all these on like different ones. Sorry. You took me there. It's your fault, Cassandra. I hope so, Tammy. I'm always a little nervous when I share my designs. And I think I'm a little bit more nervous this time because these designs really are personal. Like I wanted, oh yeah, clipboards. That would be beautiful, Flea. I wanted designs that I wanted to see, that I've been wanting to use. And you guys will notice that this is not like your typical, like super bright springy. It's grown folk spring. That's what I'm saying. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. My last one is my favorite. I'm so excited about this one. And I hope you guys love it too. It's called Scrappy Masterboard. And there are so many yummy bits. I'm going to show you guys a half at a time. And then we'll look at the thumbnail together because showing you the whole paper is just really, really hard. And even these, when I was making, so there's just like a bunch of vignettes on here. So we have this one, and there's like a tea bag, and then there's another piece of paper, and there's a bird, and another piece of paper, and another piece of tape, and flowers, and there's a safety pin, and another piece of tape, and you know, so it's just like a little mini collage already done for you. And I believe this one is basically like an 8x10, right? So I did the same thing with this one. These vignettes are set up 8x10, 5x7, 4x6. And then we have some smaller ones that I squeezed in between. This one is one of the smaller ones, probably a 4x6. And I have a lot of these little, you know, chips, like paint chips colors here, a piece of tape, and it's just a lot of yumminess. And you're almost going to have to get it to be able to see it because there's so much to see. This one, and I mean, some of this stuff, you guys, this tea bag right here, I colored it and I actually scanned it and added this in here. So a lot of, you know, measuring tape right there. There's so much. And there's like several different vignettes, and you don't have to use them together, but you absolutely can use them together, right? I kind of have to open it to show that one because this one's kind of splitting. That one's like, oh yeah, that's the bingo card. And then it has all those yummy bits laying on top of it. This is another vignette. We have a bird and a butterfly and paper. This one is super pretty. There is another bird with some paper and topography behind him. And even between each of the vignettes, what I wanted to do was to give you guys the freedom to be able to kind of cut what you need. You know what I mean? So if you look in the background, it isn't just blank. There is, like you see the white topography here. There's texture, there's topography, but it's still subtle enough that if you need like some extra paper for whatever you're working on, that it's not going to distract from what you're doing, and it's still going to make sense, if that makes sense. And this one is like a book board. It actually has an end paper on there, and then you have the paint chips and measuring tape, and there are some watercolor blotches kind of in the background. They're really subtle back here. This is my favorite. I had so much fun building this decoupage paper, and I'm really hoping that you guys are going to enjoy creating with this one. Sorry, my computer is like being a dork. Okay. And so, and I also want to point out that tonally, right? These three all work with each other. So you could use all of these on one project, and tonally, this one works with these three. So like these 4 papers, it's almost like you guys have 2 masterboards and then 2 support designs that you can use with them. And so for like art journaling and junk journaling, or even if you want to bring that look and feel of junk journaling to your home decor and furniture pieces, you can do that with these pieces because they're scaled to be appropriate for something larger, but they still work with smaller projects because there's so many yummy bits. And this one has a ton of different end papers on it as well, in addition to all the other things that are on here. So that is the new release for spring of 2026. And I know it's not like super bright and traditional spring, but I do think it's beautiful. And I hope you guys like it. What time is it? It's 12:33. I think we can do a quick craft. I have to. I got to do it. I'll make it quick, I promise. So I have been looking at altered bottles. Oh, yeah. Let me show you the thumbnail. Did I show you the thumbnail? Let me show you the thumbnail to, I don't think I did, to the Scrappy masterboard. So that's the thumbnail to the Scrappy masterboard. So you can see like all of the yummy bits that are there. And then the spaces that's around each one to give you some breathing room in case you need to like add extra paper to a project. You guys know what I mean. Sometimes you're like working on something, but the vignette on the masterboard isn't quite right. And there's something like super close to it. And so I don't know about you guys, but I agonize, right, over where to cut it. So this one has a little bit more breathing room to allow you guys to be able to create freely. So I'm going to go through all the designs. I'm going to go through the thumbnails really quickly, and then we'll try to do a bottle real quick. I took a shower before I came out, so all I have to do is go inside and like grab my purse and go to the meeting. So let's start with this one. We'll start with the Posh floral. And again, I haven't done a large scale design for my furniture painting artist in a long time. So I wanted to show you guys that one. And then we have the Posh pattern, which goes with the Posh floral. So these two are together. When you look at them up close, there is like a really pretty burlap texture to it. So it's not just a flat image on there. You guys have been asking me for paintable birds. And so we do have the Paintable Botanical, which is, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 paintable birds on this one. The one, it's my left, I think it's your right, is really big. He's about 8 or 10 inches across. So you can use him for something larger, but you can definitely use him, use some of the other smaller birds. And then all of the flowers and the birds, they're all shaded. So all you have to do is paint over them with a transparent color of whatever you want to choose, and they will look absolutely beautiful. These are the Botanical blocks, and these are kind of a harken back to the botanicals that I used to make in the beginning of Roycycled. Of course, they look a lot different because I'm a lot different than I was, what, 8 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. But it's still, you know, the topography, the birds, the butterflies, the florals, and there's one that's really neutral, and then there's one, the color story is primarily pink and green. And the green one does have like cracked paint, like a chippy paint background that it's hard to show on camera, but you'll see it when you get it in person. The next one is the warm topography, which I feel like this is a super, really good staple piece for you to have in your stash to be able to make multiple projects. But of course, you can use it just like this, and I think it would be fabulous on a piece of furniture. But it's also good for home decor. And then if you're like doing junk journaling or art journaling, this is a really nice background for you to lay all your beautiful things over the top of. This is a paper I've been wanting to do for a while. And when I did the photography masterboard on our last launch, I really, really wanted the end papers that were in that paper. So this is an end paper, and just end papers, that's the name of it. And when you buy really old books, you know, they always have the really pretty paper in the beginning and the end of the books. And so that's where these come from. And these can serve as really beautiful backgrounds, you know, for your projects, or even like Cassandra was saying, drawer fronts. Like now I want to find cubbies so I can decoupage a bunch of them with this, because I think it would be fabulous. And just pointing out that the last 4 designs tonally go really well together. And then my favorite, did I forget anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then my favorite is my Scrappy masterboard. And I named it that because it's a bunch of scraps of papers, of end papers, of ephemera. There's tape. There's just all kinds of yumminess that are layered to create multiple vignettes on this design. And I was thoughtful about the size of the vignette, by 10, 5 by 7s, 4 by 6, so that it makes sense when you're making your projects. The really small ones are just, they're not sized any specific size. They are just, you know, I created them to fill in space so that you guys could get like the maximum usage out of the paper. And so those are the new Roycycled designs. I hope you guys like them. I really, really do. And honestly, I cannot wait to see. Yeah, Cassandra, the Scrappy one is my favorite. I think so. That's my favorite. Thank you, Flea. Thank you. Girl, Shannon, I know. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. So if you are a retailer, please let our customers know where they can find you and where they can snag their papers. I do want to do a quick project because I think I can do it quickly. Y'all know me though. So I'm going to try. If I'm a little late to my meeting, I don't know. It'll be fine. It's going to have to be fine because you guys come first. So you guys know I have these old bottles in my stash. And so I got this like box of all different shapes. There's like 7 different shapes of corks in here, 7 or 8. And so I figured what I needed would be in there. And then I had these little knobs in my stash. And I went to my local Ace Hardware. I think the guys are in the back playing Rochambeau to see who has to deal with me when I go there. Because I'm never going in there to look for stuff that's appropriate. But you can find these screws, and they have like they're como se dice, they're threaded on both sides. So on the inside is threaded, and then on this side. And so then I took it and I just screwed it right into my cork, because that's just what I saw in my head and that's what I wanted. And I've been on Pinterest and I went down an altered bottle kind of a rabbit hole, and this is what came out. So, and this does fit perfectly on my bottle. So I want to make something really cool to go on the front of here. And then I have, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do all this. We might finish tomorrow. This is a jewelry bale, BALE. Can you guys see that? And I have like some resin glue, and I'm going to glue this to the back of my 7. And then I want to hang it using either some rusty wire or string. I haven't decided after we put something on it. We may have to finish the second part tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to have time to do that part today. But first, let's figure out what we're going to put on the bottle. And of course, we're going to start with my favorite one, y'all, the Scrappy masterboard. Which one is you guys' favorite? I'm just curious. Which one is your favorite? People next time. You know what? I will probably do more. I remember when I did the release for the photograph masterboard, and I think I was on, I won't say who, I was on somebody's live, and her customer was like, that one is weird. I'm like, it's not weird. Okay, it is. It might be a kind of weird, but I'm kind of weird. So I want to figure out like what I want to put on my bottle. I don't want any, like this one is pretty, right? This one. I don't want pretty. I want something kind of scrappy to go on my bottle. Like this one will be perfect, but it's big and I don't want to not waste it on this bottle, but you know what I'm saying. I don't want to use it on the bottle because I want to save it. I think this one is okay. It's kind of pretty, but we'll forgive it. So I am going to, I want to make sure I get some topography on there. So I'm going to kind of, let's see, there's a line right here. So I can cut it right there on that side. And I'm just going to cut it right here. So I'm just like eyeballing, like, what do you say, landmarks on my paper where I can trim to get it to trim down. I don't want to waste. So I want to trim it pretty close. Look, I don't want to cut off my bird's tail though. So I'm going to go around that. um, that's probably somebody calling me from the chamber. Where are you? I will be there. It's not 1:00 yet. Okay. And then I think my other landmark, yeah, was the top of this piece of tape. And why do I just love this right here, this little grimy piece right there? And there is tons of like grime and grunge. And I do think this is springy. It's just grungy springy. And so I want to decoupage this on here, but I'm going to go around with a skinny wet brush and create an organic edge first. I don't want it to look like a label, right? I want it to look really organic on there. Hey, Victoria. I know there's a lot of birds on the Scrappy background. And I know you guys love your birds. I have coffee here, but I'm drinking water, which is probably a good choice. Okay. So I'm just going to go along the edge with my brush because I want to have an organic edge. I'm going to go on the back. I want it to look like this bottle has been like, I don't know, in somebody's pantry or something. And if you're new here, I should probably I should have started out with this. Good morning. My name is Royce Hunt Bell, and I'm the founder, owner, and operator of Roycycled Treasures. um, Roycycled Treasures, we empower creativity through quality craft supplies, instruction, encouragement, and inspiration. And whether you're creating for your heart, for your home, or even for your business, you are absolutely welcomed here. This is a place of, sorry, I can't think of the word now. Lord have mercy for Jesus. So this one that I want to put on my bottle, this is a place of inclusion. That's what I was looking for. So you are welcome here. That's a little weird. I'm going to pull that off. Okay. So I know that I want to put this little piece on here. I thought I had a little piece pulled out. I did. I just put it under there. I have like stacks of matte here. I don't want to get paint on my bottle. So I'm going to paint this white super quick. And then we're going to decoupage it on our bottle. And I think I'm going to grunge the back of the paper too. Yeah. So think about the end paper. Like you could do a whole vignette using that. Scrappy masterboards, number one. Number two is the background masterboards. Yes. And so I'm going to paint this. You guys know that when you decoupage with the tissue paper, it gets very transparent. I do like having the option of transparency though, because sometimes when I'm doing projects, I take advantage of that transparency. But for today, we are going to paint the back so that we don't have it. But I prefer to have the option of having or not having than to have something that's like always opaque, right? Okay. And I'm going to dry that really quickly. Ooh. Yeah, I imagine a lot of the retailers might be live today using their product because they have it. So you guys be sure and take a look. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be having lives today and tomorrow, maybe. Um, so maybe it's good that I'm going to hop my butt off early today. No 2 hour live today, you guys. We're going to be quick. It's going to be a real quick craft with Royce today. So I just dried that, you guys. I just don't want to get paint on my bottle anywhere. I have my dauber here. And so I'm going to go around the edge of my paper and I'm going around the back. So you guys have seen me put a halo on a project, right? Like I underpaint the paper. So essentially that's what I'm doing. I'm doing an underpainting under the paper. And it's going to be more subtle than if I had done it on top of the paper, but it's still going to be there and it's still going to add that grungy element, but it's going to do it just quieter. And I love it because it brings like dimension to your pieces right away when you do this, because the dark recedes and the lighter part kind of comes out at you. Okay. So you guys can see that, right? I just did a halo. It's on the back of my paper. I am going to warm this up really quickly because I don't want this ink to be moving around when I start decoupaging it. So I'm just going to heat this up with my heat. And this is an embossing gun. A lot of you guys ask about it. I do have it in my Amazon shop. It is a heated tool from Ranger, and it is super quiet. So if you do videos or lives, this is wonderful to have. It's wonderful to have anyways. It's really good at drying your projects, and it doesn't blow a ton, but it does get really warm. Oh, I'm sorry, Connie. I tried to get them out early. This whole freeze is just causing problems. And I even postponed hoping that that meant you guys would get your papers. But you guys stay safe. Is it still like frozen, Connie? Okay. That's pretty warm. I don't think that ink is going to move around anywhere. And um, I'll use my decoupage medium. I'm going to use the decoupage medium. This one is glossy though. I don't want that one. Let me find another one. I know there's a matte one. This one is ultra matte. Ooh, I'm going to use a decoupage medium because I do want my medium to have a little bit more body than like the varnish would for this project. I can probably just use what's on that lid. Um, and I'm going to apply it to the paper, not to the bottle. And what I'm doing is I really just I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of stuff accidentally on my glass, on my bottle. So I'm doing everything on the paper and then we'll apply it to the bottle. And when I'm applying my decoupage glue to the back of this, I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch around the edge because I know my glue is going to smoosh out a little bit. And if it doesn't adhere perfectly, like it's fine, right? Because this is supposed to be like an old bottle. I am really excited about this project. I'm sad that I'm not going to have time to finish. So I think I'm going to put it on this side. It's a little bit flatter on this side. And I'm sure this is just like an old pint, right? An old whiskey bottle. But we're going to make it something cool. You guys notice how I kind of started in the center and I'm working my way out. I'm going to push out any air bubbles that could be there, that might be there. And then if I have any spots that didn't lay down, I can go back in with my brush. And this is like a super quick project. What time is it? Oh, it's 12:53. Dang it. I was going to say I have time to finish, but I want you guys to see my vision though. We'll finish tomorrow because I'm going to put this on the top. And then I have several things here. I have an old key that I can hang from the top. I'm going to put a jewelry bell on this old 7 and hang it from the top. And I think that I actually might grunge this up on the front. It's not quite grungy enough for me. So I might just grunge up the whole dang paper. It's a little too pretty. We're going to grunge it up a little bit more. I think that's better. And then we might even grunge up that, right? That looks a little bit too new. So we'll finish our project together because we have to finish our canvas bag tomorrow anyways. But I think this is going to be so nice, and this will go on in my living room. Although if it's going to go in my living room, it'll more than likely end up wearing the 7 for jewelry. And I have some old wire here. I don't know what I'm going to use. I have some old wire that I wanted to wrap around the neck and then use that to also attach, or just wrap it around the neck and then use some twine to attach it around the neck. And I pulled out a couple of things for you guys to consider. Oh yeah, and I need to paint this. I got to paint my molds so we can get those glued on. I want to paint these to look rusty. These are from Finnabar. No, I forget the name of it. I forget, but these are like little placards. You guys can't see them because they're white. Yeah, there you go. So we still have to paint the molds. I have some little like fake screws here we can add to this. So there's a lot more to do. But even if you didn't, like maybe you don't go picking, so you don't have keys or these, you could use your molds, right? I have a number 3 somewhere from a mold that I could add on there. I have a number 7, from another mold. This, if you had one of your frames, those could go on your bottles. This is from the retro mold. The retro stamp, but I just use it as a mold, and you can use that to make your letter. So We'll play more with the idea of these altered bottles. I do have these two that I wanted us to work on anyways. So it'll probably be better for us to do that on a full session. And then I have a smaller one in a different project for us to do. So 3 bottles, 3 different ways. We'll work on those over the course of the next couple of days. But thank you guys so much for joining me for the reveal of new designs. I hope you guys love them as much as I do. I am super excited about them. And I'm really excited about the fact that you have so many of the designs that you can like use together. Like if you use those 4 or 5 designs, everything would go together. They would go together. So I am going to run away. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys have a blessed day. And you guys remember, where experimentation goes, creativity follows. Please make time to play, to experiment, because that's how we grow creatively. Have a blessed day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing.